Hello everyone, I am Chris Williams and I'm back with another review. This time we're going to be reviewing Major X, Rob Liefeld's new comic book for Marvel. Here we see the title character Major X on the cover. And yes, he looks like a cross between Deadpool and Cable. Mainly because I'd say he looks more like a cross between Deadpool and Judge Dredd. We can get into more about Major X later. This cover, though, is good and bad. It's good because it's well drawn by Rob Liefeld. It's bad because it's just showing a generic character just pointing his guns to the left of the reader. While McCoy, the new Beast-like character, Cable, Wolverine, Deadpool, and Storm's heads float in the background. And the first page is once again just a title logo Major X with Rob Liefeld and and Romulo Fugero Jr. and other creators who worked on this book. This is bad. I'm getting tired of first pages just being nothing but dialogue and a rehash of the title screen. I mean, the first real page isn't any better. It's not even a great first page, not a full spread with the characters doing something. No, it's just a generic thing where we see the Xavier's mansion and then Shatterstar and other characters as it's just basically what just basic comic page. Nothing really big for a good first page. We see Domino has been knocked unconscious, while Shatterstar seems to be having his eyes open, but seems to be lying down. And here we see Major X, with his chest ablaze with lightning, putting his foot over Cable's head. While Cable has been counting down. If he doesn't get his foot off of him, he's going to kill this guy he doesn't know. He also says, "Last chance to surrender, kid," while Major X just replies he can't do that. And says that he kicked Cable's butt. Then the new Beast look-alike comes in. He's McCoy. He's not the Beast or Hank McCoy like that. He's McCoy. He's the partner of Major X here. I'm getting really tired of rehashes or just color swaps of main characters. Here, we see Cable has loosened himself and gotten up and punched Major X in the face. They commence to trade blows for a few pages. Here we see Major X giving back as good as he got. Cable is visibly stunned. This is a really good panel right here, and I'm glad I just put it out for you people. Just put it out for you people to see here. Then Cable responds, but it does no good because Major X just punches him back. Then Cable unleashes a blast from his techno-organic arm. That's a power we haven't seen him use in a while. That cannon he has in his arm. And then McCoy attacks Cable. And he asks if this is Hank McCoy. While McCoy, which is a dumb name, tries to tackle him to the ground. But Cable just uses another power that is housed in his techno-organic components, an electric shock to knock the guy unconscious. He renders McCoy prone on the ground, while Major X unleashes his adamantium sword and cuts off Cable's hands. He tells Cable he knows he only has seconds before his techno-organic virus grows Cable a new hand, and he just stands over Cable with his X helmet looking down at him. He whacks Cable so Cable will be stunned and prone on the ground, or at least immobile, long enough for Major X to explain why he and McCoy are there. It turns out they are from a sideways dimension full of mutants. This means it probably means it's an alternate universe that was artificially created so that it would be able for mutants to live there in peace. Because he goes on in his backstory saying that he's like a lawkeeper or a peacekeeper, and he makes sure all the tribes of mutants live in peace with each other. But what happens? He gets a call from his overseer saying that the X-Stance, some man who created the X-Stance itself, apparently was named after him, has disappeared. Without him, the X-Stance, their home, their refuge, cannot stand longer than maybe a few moments. But then McCoy tackles Major X to the ground and tells Major X that he was sent here by X-Stance to talk to him. But Major X says, if you're here and X-Stance has disappeared, or X-Stance, then that means he sent you here to protect you. And then it begins. Without X-Stance, or X-Stance, then their refuge begins to fall apart. So McCoy and Major X get on Major X's bike and they drive off as the entire place begins to fall apart around them. Major X uses his bike to drive into a trans-dimensional vortex which is opened up over their world, and he hopes to use it to escape this disaster, knowing that he can't save his friends, but he could possibly save them if he stops whoever is doing this. They jump through the warp, and they end up in Xavier's mansion. He tells all this to Cable, who's lying on the ground. Next to him, McCoy asks Major X what are they to do next. And before Major X can tell McCoy what to do, on his face he looks at Wolverine rushing at him. All Major X can do is brace for impact. And the fight begins between Wolverine and Major X. The blows are fierce, and the artwork in this comic is awesome. It's real great 90s artwork. Rob Liefeld has been said that he might be a little rusty, but I don't really see all that much rust here. His artwork looks on point and very great. This looks better than the artwork I've seen him recently do in Youngblood or something a few years ago, a new Youngblood series. We see Major X counter Wolverine's adamantium claws with his own adamantium sword. He tells Wolverine, when he asks where he got all the adamantium for a sword, that it was made from from Wolverine's own bones. Then Cable stops the fight by using a warning shot on Major X that he should give up now. Major X says that they can't just stop; they want to save their world, and he knows they shouldn't be there, and he knows that they are in the X-Men's home. But all that is beside the point. When suddenly Deadpool appears, or at least another version of Deadpool, this one looks like a more Rob Liefeldian Deadpool than we've seen in a while. He apparently hates mutants, and he tells X-Force and Cable and Wolverine to come at him. Cannonball sneaks up behind, but Deadpool counters after the Cannonball's blow to use a neural net to knock Cannonball unconscious, and then Domino attacks Deadpool, but he sends her to the ground. And then Cable, seeing enough of his friends being beaten up this day, goes after Deadpool and whacks him across, gives him a mighty left to the face, and then but that doesn't stop this Deadpool. And then Wolverine takes a swipe at him. But Deadpool uses another wire to bring Wolverine to the ground. And then Major X and Deadpool go at each other. But before their fight can get good, they hear a woo-hoo! And then suddenly appears it's the real Deadpool! This other Deadpool had actually been another dimensional doppelganger or something. And he attacks the doppelganger Deadpool to the ground, making witty one-liners as he goes. The artwork here is great, and I'm really enjoying this story. Rob Liefeld has really made something here. I mean, it's not the best comic, but it's certainly better than anything Marvel's currently making. The fake Deadpool disappears, but says he'll come back for all of them, including the fake Wade Wilson. And then Major X decides to explain even more of who he is. He removes his helmet, and he reveals himself to Cable, and we find out that he's actually Cable's son. This causes Cable to open his mouth in astonishment. He has no idea or way to reply to this young man before him. And this is how the comic ends. Well, we'll have to see the next issue for anything else that Rob Liefeld has planned for us. If you like this review, subscribe, leave a comment, and leave a like. I'll see you all again soon. Bye.